Hello and welcome to another Stamp Around UK video hop. And today our theme is DSP. So I hope you enjoyed the last video you came from, and don't forget to hop on to the next one by clicking on the link just below in the description of this video. And we have some amazing projects to show you as always. So today I thought I would show you a really easy way to work with DSP. Of course, there are several ways to work with DSP. You can have a card like this, where basically the DSP is the star of the show and it covers the entire card, and you simply add a sentiment in a cute punch or die cut. Or you could have a little strip of DSP down the side, just as an accent to the rest of your card. But what I wanted to show you is actually using the DSP to make the pattern on the card. In this card here, we've used this Playful Patterns DSP, and we've cut various stars out using our Stitch Stars Framelits. I've used the same DSP, you can see it was from this little star here, and I have used this on the back of our envelopes. And then I've made a cute little box, and I've just embellished the top with, again, the same DSP. So I'm going to show you how I made these three little projects. They're super simple, but they just add a really nice touch to a whole coordinating kind of gift package, really. So let's get started. I just want to show you, if you know the size that your gift is going to be within your box, how you can work out what size your box will be. So let's imagine this is our box if you flatten it out, and let's imagine you want it to be pretty much a 2 by 4. I'm going to work in inches for this video, because sometimes I chop and change whether I'm centimeters or inches, but for the base of this one I'm going to do inches because it's a little easier. So if you want it to be a 2 by 4 and you want the lip of your box to be 1 inch, you know that you really need to cut a piece of cardstock. 4 plus 2 is 6, and 2 plus 2 is 4. So you need to cut a piece of cardstock for the base of your box at 4 by 6. And there's one I did earlier. Oh sorry, not that one. Here's one I did earlier. So this one's going to be 4 by 6. And then if your lid, you want to have the same piece in the middle to cover, but you want the lip to be a little bit shorter, then you're going to have 5.5 by 3.5. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer, and as you can see, we want to score at 1 inch all around. So sliding that over, as you can see, just to the 1 inch mark, we are going to score all the way around. And I've scored that one already, actually. Yeah. And then we are going to cut along those score lines. If I can find where I put my scissors. They're on the floor. They've fallen down. So we're going to cut along the score lines here. It's a bit hard now with the shadow from my lights. So a little bit of a little tapered cut here, cutting straight along the edge, but then a little taper, or miter I think we refer to it as, on the tab itself. You can use Terran tape or wet glue or tumble glue, if you like, to hold this together. So I'm going to take my bone folder and just burnish these score lines. and then we can put that together. I'm going to use my liquid glue. That's really my preferred glue, though as I said, the tear and tape is equally as good. And then we just bring these edge to edge as well as you can get them. You can see that. And if you have a little clip, you could hold those just together while you move on to the next one. Close peg, or you could just sit and hold them just until the glue sets. It only takes a moment or two. Just move around. By the time we get to the next one, I can use that. Oh, I've just got my finger. And back to the final one. And that's just the base of our box. It's really super simple. And we can go back in with our bone folder and just smooth that out as much as you can. So for the lid, as I said, I want it to be a little, the central section to be a little bit bigger so it fits over my box neatly. So I'm not going to score just at 3/4. I'm going to score a smidgen, which is the technical term, of course, under 3/4. So, and it's very slight. It's probably an inch, a 1/16 of an inch, if that. But it's just the tiniest bit, just so that the lid fits over the base of the box. So I can move that on for now. And again, we're just cutting up the 4 score lines and making a little tab. So I hope these shadows aren't annoying you too much. I usually film in the daylight, but sometimes it's a little bit hard with kids at home to get some quiet time. I'm sure you can probably hear them in the background. They're still up. They should be in bed, but they're still up. So just burnishing all these score lines. I'm sure most of you probably already know how to make a little gift box, but it's just to show you a little simple project of making the whole thing tie together quite nicely. So again, edge to edge, much as you can, close as you can, and a little clip to hold it together. It's not totally necessary when you're working alone. This is just for the purpose of the video. So I'm going to leave that aside for now, and I'm going to get back to my card. So for the box and the card, I'm using this DSP. I've used most of the navy colorways in the first card, and this time I'm going to go for some of the purple posy ones. This is from Playing with Patterns on page 100 up to 102 in the catalogue. This is the Playing with Patterns suite, and this is the Playing with Patterns DSP, and they're all 6x6. So for the envelope flap, they're just a smidgen too short to work for our standard C6 envelopes, but they're perfect for our little Whisper White note cards. So I am going to take, I think I will take this one. I'm just going to put that on the back of the envelope. This is a perfect addition to a project if you want something to look fully coordinated. So I'm just going to glue. Put some adhesive and glue on my actual envelope flap. So I'm just, I've adhered the envelope down, and I'm literally going to take my paper snips and cut right up next to the envelope, like so, next to the envelope flap. And I want to keep this pattern. I'll keep the rest of this paper. It comes 6 by 6. I've actually cut them down into card front sizes as I was making some DSP samplers. So that's why mine are a different size. But it comes 6 by 6 pack. So that's just a little envelope flap, which is going to coordinate with my card. My card is, as I said, the Whisper White notelet, and I am going to, just like my last one, I'm going to take a few different patterns and cut some into stars and make it a happy birthday card this time. So I'm just going to take my big shots, and I have got my Simply Stars, my stitched star framelits, and I'm going to probably use these 3 sizes and cut out some stars. So let's just do that. I've used my big shots and my stitched star framelits. Gosh, try saying that after a few drinks. And I've got some shapes ready here. But what I like about them is to maybe make them not quite have the entire shape on the card, but maybe just chop a little bit off. So I'm going to do that on a couple, just getting my trimmer back in. And I'm going to take this one first, and I can just chop off a little bit like that. And maybe I'll take one of the larger ones here and chop a little bit off here too. And then I'm going to raise them up on dimensionals. If I can find the dimensionals. Where are they? So they're all fairly small. I'm going to use some mini dimensionals. That one over here in this side. Put the big one in the center because I'm going to put my my greeting over that part. The Playing with Patterns DSP is beautiful, both sides actually. It was hard to choose which colors to use for this because they are both so pretty. And they have a lovely, which is one of my least favorite colors actually, but they have lovely calypso coral within it. And I've never been a huge fan of any of our oranges, but this one is particularly nice in the suite. So I'm going to put that there, and then these two are quite simple because I only need one each. And then that one. See, we like to do things in odd numbers. So we always see that we usually have in 3s or 5s. So that's actually, if that is not totally stuck down, I might move that a little bit higher. I think it will. Great. I've managed that okay. Just a little bit higher. I think it would look more balanced. So I'm going to just take my embossing buddy and a block. Just make sure I line this up straight, though it doesn't matter too much. My greeting is from Itty Bitty Birthdays, which is one of my go-to sets. All the itty bitty sets. We have itty bitty greetings, itty bitty birthdays, and we even have itty bitty Christmas, which is carried over from last year. And I do love those sets because they go so well with some of our punches, and they're just the right size for well, certainly for many of the projects I do, I love just a small greeting. So I have that ready using first some arc and then some embossing powder in white. And excuse the noise as I just emboss it. Okay, so that's nice and white and shiny. And we shall just cut that into a small strip and attach that across my star. I think I'll trim this down. Hopefully I will cut it straight. Be a little bit more. So taking my snips, I'm just going to snip a little bit one side and the other, and then I'm going to just flag the ends. So flagging the ends, you just cut a little snip straight up the middle and then bring both ends, just snipping in towards the center. Like so. And that can be, put it maybe a little bit further down. Let's see, where shall I put it? There, definitely not higher up. I think further down would be nice. Okay. That covers that little tiny bit where I moved my dimensional at the last minute. I think actually we can probably just get a little dimensional in at the end because that's going to overhang my star a little. So butting it up right to the edge and then making sure it is horizontal. So that's my card. And then I've got the matching envelope. So my box is now ready like so, and I'm just going to add on another little piece of DSP. So just going to use some of the DSP, which is this pattern on my stars. I'm going to adhere that directly. But on this side, I'm going to raise with dimensionals, which will give me room to add in the ribbon. And there's a couple of matching ribbons for the Playful Pattern DSP. So we can put it in first. This is one of them here, which is a lovely purple, posy and white. So I know approximately that much will be good. Add that on like so. And I can cut that. Just as a finishing touch, I'm going to add a little star. So I cut out a little star in white, just to finish off the project. And we can maybe adjust that ribbon, put it up a little bit higher, and just we've got the card with matching envelope and cute little gift box. And then the first one I showed you was the more masculine version with the navy. So I hope you liked today's projects, just showing you a little bit something different to do with your DSP rather than just the backing on a card front or a bag or whatever, just using die cuts with the DSP to make a pretty little coordinating project. I hope you enjoyed it. Do, as I say, do hop on in the next link and see what everyone else has to offer. I am sure with the talent that we have in this group, there will be some amazing projects, so do hop on. Okay, thanks now and see you next month.